What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Remember, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button down at the bottom of your screens. Turn on those bell notifications so that you guys will get notified every single time that I post content. In today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about what is harder, OTR, over the road, or oil field. So today we're going to be taking a little drive. I'm going to go ahead and put the GoPro on, and so you guys can see pretty much Death Highway, which is 285 running between Pecos and Carlsbad. Here's a map of that area right here. And then also we'll take you down a couple leash roads to show you guys exactly what the oil field is like, how much different the oil field is compared to over the road truck driving. And then after I show you guys a little bit about what the oil field is about out here, we will go ahead and give you my thoughts on it, my opinions on whether or not the oil field is actually harder than over the road truck driving. Let's get into it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and pull out of this man camp here. So today, guys, we're going to be going down Death Highway, which is called Death Highway for a reason, because there are so many accidents that happen. Oh, there's the man camp, guys, right here. They're building some more of the man camp. That's where I stay, bro, right here. Nicer man camp than I was staying at before over there at ML Construction. But yeah, they call it Death Highway for a reason. There's so many accidents that occurred down 285. It's a county highway, and it's pretty dangerous, guys. I'm not gonna lie. You guys will see why it's so stinking dangerous as we go down 285. All right, man, so here we go. So right now we are actually in Pecos, Texas. This is kind of hub, I would say, for oil field work. You'll always be able to find work here in Pecos, Texas. And you also find work in Midland, Odessa, and stuff like that. But Pecos, I've liked Pecos. I've worked here for years, literally worked here, and I actually enjoy it, man. Let's go ahead and try to jump out here on the highway. Yeah, so guys, I really like Pecos, Texas. I've been out here for a long time. It's kind of like a second home, to be honest with you guys. Also, Orla. I worked out in Orla for a very long time. I actually miss working in Orla. I was with Mesquite Services back in 2016. It's actually quite nice working there. If you guys have never been to Pecos here, this is Pecos, man. One of the main drags, you got Business 20. There's also 285 that runs back out to I-20. So you have those two main drags there. And it's a pretty small town, guys. There's not much here to do, as you guys can tell. I mean, it's pretty got the small town vibes to it, man. You know, I was just telling a buddy a few days ago that, you know, compared to when I first started working out here, this place has built up a lot. A lot of this stuff was not here. You know, obviously this side, Business 20, was kind of looks the same, you know, with the exception of some newer buildings like this. Some newer stores and stuff have went in. This right here kind of looks the same, but if you go down 285 back to I-20, that has grown quite a bit, actually pretty tremendously over the last few years. But yeah, guys, if you aren't familiar with Pecos, Texas, this is Pecos, Texas right here, man. Nothing fancy. It's just a plain, ordinary, small little town here in West Texas that just happens to be kind of one of the hubs for all of the work that goes on out here in the oil field. We are officially on the Death Highway, all right, 285, the Death Highway, all right. This is an extremely dangerous highway, and the reason why it's so dangerous is because there is a lot of traffic that flows up to Orla and Carlsbad in the mornings and the afternoons, and then a lot of people work up and down 285. That's kind of like where most of the work is, and this is one of the main artery ways to get out to where most of the jobs are. Now, you couple massive loads of people going up and down this highway every single day, along with people in a hurry trying to get to work on time, and it's just kind of a recipe for disaster. And yes, people drive absolutely ridiculous out here up and down this 285. A lot of our driving out here in the oil field, especially as truck drivers, is going to be on roads like this. Not so much interstate roads. It's going to be little back roads, kind of like, you know, 285, 652, 302, 129. A lot of these little small county roads is where our work is going to be at. County roads are not the safest roads to be driving trucks up and down, especially when there's a ton of traffic like we have out here in the oil field. Obviously, the oil field is booming somewhat right now, and there are a lot of people out here working. And so as truck drivers, you always constantly have to be mindful of your surroundings and what's going on around you, because most people out here are not going to be as safe driving as, let's say, over the road or in a city or not. It's extremely dangerous on these highway, guys, and you guys really won't understand that unless you come out here and drive these every single day. All right, guys, so we're going to just keep on heading up 285 right now. We're actually 285 north. We're headed towards Orla right now. This is one of the ways to get to Orla. Orla's literally probably about 30 minutes up the road, and it's at the intersection of 652 and 285. Definitely a lot of accidents happen in that area too, but I think what we're going to do is kind of turn off towards Mentone, which is kind of an area where there's a lot of work going on also. What I want to do is take you guys down a lease road to actually show you guys exactly kind of what you would be driving if you were to start truck driving out here. Pulling off onto 302 now, headed towards Mentone. We're getting off of 285, the Death Highway. As you guys can see, a lot of county roads, man. A lot of us truck drivers drive these county roads, and I just want to take you guys on a drive, just so you guys can kind of see exactly, you know, what everybody's talking about when we're talking about working in the oil field. It's a lot of it, guys. A lot of driving down these county roads, man. It's like them guys are moving a rig. There's the old Halliburton there. But one thing about truck driving in the oil field is it's not technically all driving, guys. It's a lot of getting out and actually doing work. Especially if you haul water, you're gonna have to get out there and work a little bit. Even on the frac side, if you go work for a service company or working on, you know, pump down or something, yeah, you guys could drive trucks and drive pumps out to locations and things like that, but you're gonna be working. Do require you to do a lot of work. Beautiful Mentone here, man. Let's go ahead and turn down one of these little roads here. All right, so County Road 200. There's some locations back here, but this right here is Mentone. All right, little gas station. That is all that's here. You got the little county building, City Hall, and that's about it, man. We'll come down here. As you can see, there's some truck parking over there to the left, some campers. But we'll come down here and we'll go get us a leash road. I'll jump on a leash road so you guys can see exactly kind of what the leash road is like when we talk about leash roads. Talking about leash roads, you can either have a really smooth and really well-maintained leash road, but most leash roads in the oil field are going to be nasty. And what I mean by nasty, they're going to either be muddy if it had just rained, it's going to be slick, your truck's going to be sliding all over the place. There's going to be tons of potholes, mud holes, just the nastiest thing that you probably should not take a semi-truck through, but we have to take semi-trucks through them so that we can actually get to lease locations and things like that. Oh, there's a frac there to your right. But yeah, that's kind of what we have to do to actually do work out here, is we have to come down these nasty leash roads and stuff like that. But we'll go right here and hop on a leash road so I can show you guys what it looks like. Go ahead and turn off on this one right here. This is going to be a leash road right here, guys. So this is what you would be driving on if you were to come out to the oil field, is a lease road like this. We actually I used to work down in this off of this lease road way back in the day. There was a few locations that we used to service out here as a water hauler down this lease road. This is actually some of the Diamondback locations. They do have quite a bit of stuff out here, but this is kind of what a leash road looks like, just a normal dirt road. This is actually going to be one of your more well-maintained roads. Diamondback has always kind of maintained the roads somewhat. Now, I'm not saying that they maintain them all the time, but this one was actually not that bad to actually go down. It's super bumpy though, you know, obviously messing up suspension and stuff like that. That could definitely happen. These are going to be leash roads, guys. This is what your leash road is technically mostly going to look like. And like I said before, they could either be better or they could actually be worse than this. It really just depends. As far as like navigating in the oil field, usually with OTR, you're definitely going to have like an address. You may have a pin drop or something, or you can look on Google satellite images and kind of see how to get into places, out of places. You're gonna have, okay, this is the entrance, this is how you get out, things like that, right? Here in the oil field, not so much. Let me give you guys this story. When I first started, the way to get around out here really wasn't Google pin drops, right? That was not really a thing when I started in the oil field. What they would do is they would draw you a map on a piece of paper, and it would have like, hey, you know, go down 285, 3.2 miles from this intersection, take a left, and then you're going to go down 0.2 miles, turn right at the water tank. So whatever water tank was there, you turn right, then go down that road 3 miles, and then at the cattle guard, take another left. You're going to go past 2 cattle guards and take another right. That was kind of how we got around out here, by maps. And you would have to follow that map to a T to actually get out to locations. Nowadays, we have pin drops. So they'll either drop you a pin or something of where the location should be. They'll give you written directions on how to get out to a place. But obviously, guys, there's not addresses out here. There's not an address that you can just plug into your GPS and then it take you there. So there's going to be a lot of common sense that you're going to have to use as far as getting around out here, thinking like, hey, maybe I may not be able to go down that road, even though the GPS is telling me to go down that road. I can't take a truck down through there. You're going to have to use some common sense when you're working in the oil field as a truck driver. You kind of got to be a little smart. You know what I mean? Just one of them things, man. One of the things about working in the oil field is not getting lost, man. So there we go, guys. It's one of the batteries that I used to service when I first started out here, man. Obviously, there's a lot more, you know, the frac tanks weren't there before. But yeah, this is one of the ones I used to service whenever we first started in the oil field, way out in the middle of nowhere. So obviously there's not a whole lot around here. So if something happened out here, like say if you got hurt or knocked out or anything, there is not much for miles, guys. Miles. There's nothing out here. Not unless somebody came to find you or something, like say if you've been missing for a little bit. But yeah, you're kind of on your own. All right, guys, so that is a little drive down 285. I know we're in a pickup truck, guys, so be mindful of that. But it's kind of, you know, 285 county roads, leash roads. I kind of showed you guys a little bit about the oil field, kind of what you would be driving on out here as a truck driver in the oil field. Now, obviously, driving a pickup truck and compared to driving a semi truck are completely two different things. But always remember that as you're driving a semi truck with a trailer that is loaded, you're going to have to be mindful of more things, be more cautious as you're going down, like say 285, that dangerous highway that we started out on out of Pecos. And even on the leash roads, you don't want to take a wrong turn down here. There are a lot of gas lines and a lot of places where you could actually get in trouble with a semi truck. Now, going back to the video's title, oil field versus OTR, or vice versa. I don't know how I'm going to title it yet, but what is more difficult? Now, the reason I picked this topic was because one of you guys had asked me in the comment section, what is more difficult, oil field truck driving or OTR truck driving, and what my thoughts are on it. Well, I have to say that OTR driving has its difficulties also, right? You got to drive a long distance. Usually some trips, some loads may be 1,100 miles. You may be out on the road for 2 days. You have to drive in icy conditions. You have to drive in heat. You have to drive in rain, sleet, snow, whatever it might be. So there is that to OTR driving. Now, oil field driving, you have to deal with the same exact things, right? Even though we may not be driving as many miles as you every single day, we are driving on a lot of county roads. You know, it does snow out here in West Texas. It does rain out here in West Texas. A lot of people can't drive out here in West Texas. So we kind of deal with, as far as the driving aspects of truck driving, oil field and OTR are kind of no different besides the long miles that you do drive OTR. Now, when you're driving OTR, you have a lot of different things that you could do. You could either be driving drive-in, flatbed, reefer, just depends. Well, here in the oil field, we have different jobs and stuff like that, but most jobs in the oil field will require you to work. So not only are you responsible for driving the semi truck with the load and getting the load to a certain place at a certain time, you're also required most of the time to actually, when you get to a location with that piece of equipment or load, you actually need to go out there, either offload that load or actually use that piece of equipment that you drove out there to actually do work on location, and that is a lot of jobs in the oil field. So in that case, I believe oil field truck driving, as far as work goes, it is a lot more work compared to OTR driving. Now, oil field jobs, some of them you work harder than others, but most of them you are going to have to work a little bit. Guys, in my opinion, I would say oil field trucking is going to be a little bit more difficult than OTR, depending on what you do. And it also depends on whether or not you even like oil field work. Oil field is interesting. There's a lot of things that you can learn out here, but be honest with you guys, whatever you do learn out here and whatever you become good at is really specifically only used here in the oil field. In those instances, if the oil field's not booming, whatever you learned from the oil field can't use outside of the oil field. Now, as far as backing up goes, OTR, you're going to be backing up the truck and trailer a lot. Oil field, not so much. Usually there's really not any, you don't have to park in a precise area. It's mostly pull up or just kind of get the trailer in the vicinity of where you're going to work. So there's not really that aspect of it. Some jobs out here do need to be precise, like especially with my job, which is hauling compressed natural gas. I actually have to make sure that everything is straight so that the hoses can reach out to the trailer. But other than that, in the oil field, you don't really need to know how to back up. You just need to know how to back up safe and not hit anything. So in my opinion, and this is an opinion coming from somebody who has drove both oil field and also OTR, in my opinion, oil field is definitely going to be a much harder job to do than OTR. Now, I do enjoy OTR a little bit more than doing oil field, but there are things about the oil field that I actually like more than OTR. So it really just depends on what you like to do and what you kind of want to do at the time. But definitely oil field work is a lot harder than OTR, in my opinion at least. But guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Guys, got to drive around a little bit out here in the oil field. I know you guys hear me talk about the oil field a lot, and you don't have too many videos about what I'm talking about, right? Like what it's like out here in the oil field, what the roads look like and everything like that. So at least you guys got to see a little bit of that in this video. Remember, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down at the bottom of your screens. Turn on those bell notifications so that you guys will get notified every single time that I put content out. And until next time, keep it between the ditches.